everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, October 5, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. At about, about 3:30 this afternoon, I'm having a special call on the conference line. That's 3:30 Mountain Time. So that would be 5:30, I believe, Eastern Time. And I'm going to address the Zim authenticity and what people can do to protect themselves from it. There are certain things that work as far as UV light on the paper, and there are others that do not work, period. So I'm going to cover that so that everybody gets a handle on it. And remember, knowledge is power, ignorance is evil. So that's just a special call that I'm going to do at, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. So it's 5:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time today. Let's say that you step back, okay, from everything, right, to get how you zoom out and you can see the whole picture, or like with a camera, you zoom in and you only see a specific area. You don't know the other stuff because you're only focused on where you've zoomed in. Now, let's say that you step back, like a camera, okay, so you focus out so you can see everything. And you look at our world from the highest, most heavenly space. It appears that we are this great symphony of souls all working together to reach higher states of consciousness. Now, of course, we're also these separate beings with unique minds, hearts, and individual lives. Yet this separating aspect is not the biggest truth. The greatest truth is that we are intimately connected with everything and everyone else in this universe and all connecting universes through infinity. Now, if you believe that your ego mind, the mind's going to be able to comprehend this, it won't. It will not. It will try to dismiss it as crazy and period. In other words, it'll convince you to blow it off. Now, when we choose to surrender to this larger truth, weaving it throughout our day, the most tantalizing and enlightening moments just magically show up. We can feel the presence of something much larger than ourselves is guiding us to a more joyous state of being. We naturally become more sensually available to all the pleasure and joy we are here to experience in this deliciously exquisite existence. We're like a smidgen of that. We're only accessing a little teeny drop of that, just a smidgen. And by being radically open, raw, naked, and deeply willing to receive whatever this divine existence is offering us in each moment, enlightenment must pour into us. It simply has no other choice. When we completely empty out our cup, this universe has to fill it. The result is a truly intimate connection with this divine intelligence and an abundance of the richest manifesting energy radiating from our core. By living each moment from this raw, open, vulnerable space, we can become unstoppable in everything and anything we do. Can you see the difference? Feel it? It's almost like we've been cordoned off, in this specific area. And we're only fed certain things. And so we only believe certain things. And the rest of it goes unnoticed. How often, you may ask yourself, when we are deeply surrendered to life, this life, life surrenders to us. We immediately feel this humble yet empowering connection with everything and everyone. There are no more feelings of lack, unworthiness, or separation with who we are. There is also no need to become someone powerful, superior, and special, so that we cover up that unconscious, insecure self who feels inferior. And we can allow all our darker parts to be seen, felt, and heard. Isn't it interesting? When any of us hold things, you know what I mean? It may not be that you remember what it was you were holding, because it might have been so long ago. But you carry it with you, and every now and then you get this heavy feeling. It's not a settled feeling, it's an unsettled feeling. And you go, I wonder what that is. And a lot of us won't go to that closet. Say, we know where it's at, but we won't go there because we're so afraid of all the goop that we've collected in our lives. We just, we lock it and leave it alone. Some of us are beginning to open the closet. We really are. And, there's a little bit of, I'd say, apprehension, right? Because it's a total unknown of all the things that we aren't even aware of that we've collected, disappointments and emotional upheavals and broken hearts and all of that. And a lot of us, almost inadvertently, we collect it and we put it in that closet. Now, you might walk by the closet and you kind of go, you might kind of slow a bit and go, maybe I should open that and just clear it all out. No, I'm not ready to do that. I'm not going to do that now. See, what stops us from doing that? Ego mind. Ego mind says, oh, you don't pay attention to that. This is why sometimes we feel so heavy. And not only heavy, but sometimes, have you ever felt tired, but not, tired, but not like lack of sleep tired? You just felt like it's a heaviness, okay? Not like you're yawning and that type of thing. But you just feel kind of tired. And that's because we carry this weight for so long, and the majority of the time we leave the body and that weight's still there. Now, we don't, as God, just take it with us, so to speak. The body, it's in the body. It's so heavy. And when we do clear that closet, we open it, we have no fear. The universe is always here, always with you, 24/7, never isn't, never, ever, ever isn't. Your best friend, your best buddy, always there. So you open that door and you start to pick things out. Wow, I remember this. Wow, this was a tough time. I didn't realize I packed this in the closet. And what you're doing is you're surrendering all of it and letting it go. Genuinely, not superficially, but you're letting it go. Now, some of them, you'll get this feeling where you go, maybe I should keep that in the closet. because you get kind of a discomforting feeling with it, that you don't care to let it go, and then at the same time, you should let it go. And so a lot of times we'll just go, no, I'll put that in the closet. I'll keep it there for the time being. I'm not willing to let that go yet. And then other stuff, you come to the full conclusion, whatever it may be. Right? It really doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you surrender it so that you can finally have peace. That's why we do it. So you can have peace. You could be walking in the course of the day, you just say to yourself, I forgive myself for everything and anything. Period. And through the heart mind, not the ego mind. And you walk through your day and you go, you're deeply grateful for the very moment you're in. This stuff is a reminding. It's actually programming us, see? And who's doing the programming? You are. Right? You're doing the programming, and you're bringing it in. And after a while, it's automatic. You just do it. You just say it to yourself. Well, you could be anywhere, anytime, any place, interacting with people, doesn't matter. You say quietly to yourself, I'm deeply grateful for this very moment I am in. And you'll feel things, wonderful things. You become lighter. You become less agitated. It's a phenomenal feeling. Why would we carry so much stuff with us? Yes, these bodies are highly emotional. We all know that. But a lot of the stuff we carry, it doesn't serve the greatest good for us. Doesn't. It pulls us down at times. And, we reflect and then we go, oh boy, it sure looks like it did then as now. It's almost like the analogy that you go to a restaurant and you have something out of the norm, right? And you have it, whatever it may be, a steak, lobster, a soup, a sandwich. And you go home, you get deathly sick. Now your mind identifies with whatever it was that you had. And so, okay, time goes by. You're presented with the same thing. And you automatically will say, I got deathly sick on that. I can't stand to even smell it. Right? It's really no different in our emotionality in this life, where we get a bad taste, interaction, relationships, whatever it may be, and we freeze whenever it comes around, rather than embrace it. Now, one time you know what I mean, where you get really, 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 for like 24 hours, right, sick. And everything's coming out everywhere. And then you say, you direct your attention to, it had to have been what I ate. It had to have been what I ate. Right? I am never going to eat that again. Ever. So that's what I said to myself. Because I didn't care to go through that again. So, while goes by. I'm with a group of friends. Guess what? It appears again. It's there. You know what I said? I said, I've got to get over this. Because if I do it with this, there's going to be other things I'll end up doing it with. So all the courage I had, I ordered the same thing. Okay? I ate it. It was great. And I didn't get sick. You see how we get conditioned? None of us are exempt from it. We do. We get conditioned. It's just, and it's all about you. You have different tastes and different desires and wants and needs, and you view things, all of us view things differently, and we're affected differently. That's amazing, isn't it? There are over 8.5 billion of us on this planet, and every one of us experience things just a shade different. Not identical. Okay? Now you can understand how rich, flourishing, and expansive the pure consciousness, the collective consciousness is. It's vast, never-ending, full of tremendous amounts of information and knowledge. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And eventually we will be able to plug into that whenever we choose. So it's facing things that we decide to face for ourselves. Nobody else, just for ourselves. We decide that, you know what, I'm going to give this issue a full hug, full body hug. Not chest bumping or fist bumping, full body hug. When's the last time anybody gave you a full body hug, where the bodies come right together and your arms go around each other, and for about maybe 5 minutes? Can you see how the society, the human psyche, has gotten so paranoid because of all these things that we don't face, and they get miscombobulated, and then what happens? Fear. Fear comes in. Remember, fear is just a thought. That's all it is, till we give it power. And then we bring it in and we create it into our reality, and then we experience it. What's the fear? If I give them a full body hug, they might think I'm doing this, or, getting funny here. You remember years ago, we could give somebody a full body hug, and there wasn't any issue with it. It felt good. When was the last time you gave yourself a hug? When was the last time you hugged anybody? I mean, openly. Not worried about this or that, or if you got too close, or, if your pelvic region got too close, or this is going to happen, oh, no, I can't do that. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. We are loving, sensual beings. And look at this programming that's taken place. Isn't it ridiculous? It's crazy, isn't it? We are loving beings. See? That's what we're made of. I mean, for goodness sakes, why is it that we're so, tight and tense and stiff and reserved? And, I can't. But, we see it. As watchers and observers and not judgment, we see it. So, wow, this is unreal. It's crazy. This is why I encourage everybody to be a black sheep. Really. What is that? Well, they made it big, society made it a bad thing, right? Ooh, you're a black sheep. Oh, you're the black sheep of the family. You're a maverick. But this is what's happening with this civilization. People are deciding to say, I'm not in the rat race anymore. I left it. See? I am wild, free, openly with myself. I'm here to enjoy this life, not fight it, not get conflicted with it, not get all miscombobulated, stressed out, and pressured, but to enjoy it. Doesn't that make sense? Well, I can't enjoy it because I don't have this and I don't have that, and because if I did have that, then maybe I'd be able to enjoy it. But I don't have this and I don't have that, so I can't enjoy it. So, I worry, stress, fear, and I'm always, there's always something that I'm concerned about in my life. Right? It's interesting because remember this, I remember it instantly, 24/7. Whatever we focus on, we create. Let's say you have a pain in your body, right? You haven't ever had it before. And then you say, oh, it's just probably gas, trapped gas or something. But then it doesn't go away. And day, week, a month, and it seems to get worse. What is the first thing we do? We begin to focus on it. How do we focus on it? We start focusing on things that we don't want to have. Isn't that interesting? Now, it's not like we do it on purpose. I'm going to focus on what I don't want. We just do it. It's inherent. We've inherited it through generation after generation. So we gravitate and focus on what? Oh, man, I hope it's not cancer. Oh, geez, what if it's cancer? What am I going to do? You see what you're doing? You're focusing on it. Truly so. And what are you doing? What's happening? Remember, you're an omnipotently powerful being in that body. There's no arguing that. And you're a master manifester. And what are you doing? Say, when you start doing that, you can say, oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to focus on this. I'm going to focus on what I want. Right? That's a different form of energy. And when you start doing that, what happens? The God within you and the body heal. How do you think some of the philosophers and prophets throughout the ages, many of which you don't even know their names because they were covered up, but, take Jesus, right? How did he heal people? Did he actually heal them? Or through their faith, did they heal themselves? Interesting question, isn't it? Wouldn't it make sense that he did what he could to teach people that they were the kingdom of God within that body, and that they were master healers of that body? Now, if he just came out and said that to them, they wouldn't have understood or comprehended it at all. So he had to do it in different ways, subtle ways. But we focus on what we want, and we keep focusing on what we want, not what we don't want. Because we'll get both. That's the irony to it. Whatever we're focusing on, we're going to get it. That's it. There is no ifs, ands, buts about it. And the interesting thing is that when you focus on something, right, you don't harp on it. You just focus on it, and that's it. Okay? Enough said. Next thing you know, it shows up in your life. Now, a lot of us don't correlate that. We just don't. We just go, wow. Now, sometimes we'll say, that's funny. I was just thinking about this, and here it is. And remember, there's no such thing as coincidence. Coincidence, again, is a word that we have in our language that explains things a way we don't understand. That's what coincidence is. That's why it doesn't exist. So it's always a message, it's always a communication that comes to us, and it's up to us to embrace it or not. And this is what this whole spiritual evolution is about for all of us. It's all about you. It isn't about Tom, Dick, Harry, Jane, Susan. It isn't about anybody else but you. To deeply love yourself eternally. To care for yourself. To embrace yourself. To love the God that you are. These are the focusing avenues and areas that increase your vibrational frequency. Okay? Leave the mind alone. Leave it alone. This is what we do in these meditations. What you're doing is you're leaving the mind alone. And one might say, well, how the heck do you do that? Well, you relax it. You get into a comfortable position. Okay? And only you know what that comfortable position is. And you make sure you don't have any outside interference, banging, barking dogs, kids, whatever it may be. And if you have to put earplugs in and an eye mask. Now, you become as still as a statue. We know how still that is. And you begin to focus on your breath rising and falling. Now you're in the now. And guess what? You have left the mind alone. You know why? Because the mind isn't in the now. And this is the gateway for us to master our ego mind and to master our thoughts. This is the only place we can do it. Like I've said, through thousands and millions of years, we have tried every which way but loose. And it hasn't happened. We have finally come full circle and realized the only way to do it is in our chosen meditation. These meditations are as simple as they possibly can be. There's no complication to them. I give out information. You embrace and focus on whatever parts that vibrate with you. It's like when you see, hear, right, feel all of this stuff whirling around on this planet at this time, you have a choice. You know, you can say, you know, I've got to get a bigger picture of this, so I'm going to step outside of it so I can have a better observation level to comprehend it all, to see how crazy it is going on. Again, you leave the mind alone. See, as observers and watchers, we've left the mind alone. As observers and watchers, we're always in the now. See, judgment is ego mind, not heart mind. Heart mind is love, patience, gratitude, peace, joy, bliss. And ego mind is the opposite of that. So we watch everything and we see it, and it's like, wow, look at all of these gods experiencing all of this stuff in those bodies. It's absolutely unbelievable. But then you see, right? You start saying, wow, look at what they're all focused on. Look at what their attention is. Where is their power going? What are they focusing on? See, you begin to pick this up as an observer rather than a judger. You pick up so much more as an observer through the heart mind than you do a judger through the ego mind. Big difference. You see so much more. You feel so much deeper. And remember, everybody is a teacher. If you haven't learned that yet, you will. Everybody, everything is a teacher. You mean to tell me that my pets are a teacher? Absolutely. Every one of us are students and teachers. We've always been that way. Doesn't it make sense? And the biggest challenges that any of us have had in this life are the ones that teach us the most. Reflect on that. You'll see it to be spot on, to be truth. Now, we also have the propensity, or that, we look at things and we say, oh, I'd rather just have it, fluffy and soft. That would be great, wouldn't it? For a while. I don't believe any of us would, for a very long period of time, I think we would just end up like slugs in the mud. Because there's no spice. We all want some kind of spice in our lives. Whatever it may be, it doesn't have to be hugely flamboyant, but we enjoy that. We enjoy this interactiveness and this association with one another. Because we're like in this big coliseum of learning, experiencing, creating. This is what we all do. Have you ever focused on something? You might even be traveling on the road, or and something comes up. You create this thought. You say, man, wouldn't it be nice if I could just be somewhere real quiet? All you could hear is the wind through the trees. No sirens. No barking dogs. Just peace. And the next thing you know, you find yourself in that environment, and it dawns on you. This is what I thought about, and here it is. Have you ever done that? Now, of course, we're not into I call it hackativity, right? We're not in that. We're not in a hurry. We're not pushing. We're not pressuring. We're not grabbing. We're not groping on it. But we lightly enjoy it through our heart mind, and then we just experience. We've all done that. Some of us don't identify. We don't pick it up, okay? But some of us will go, this is exactly what I was thinking about 3 months ago, or however long ago it was. This is absolutely wonderful. And you just lay back into your body and enjoy it. Say, and this is proof that we actually manifest what we want. See, when you're in a very quiet space, like this meditation and quiet time, and you're focused on your breath rising and falling, and you have relaxed into your body. By the way, that's the only way you're going to relax the body, by relaxing into it. And all you're doing is focused on your breath rising and falling. This is the space, the area, where you manifest. Because, see, you don't have the noise, the mind chatter. You don't have the worries, stresses, and fears, anxieties. Those aren't there. They're in yesterday and tomorrow, where the ego mind is. But they're not in the now. This is where we manifest. Because this is where you're at peace. You're not worried about anything. You're not thinking at all, because you've left the mind alone. And so you have this open space of quiet, and you manifest. And you can do this whenever you choose. You pick one thing that you truly, truly, truly desire or want, and you give it to the universe. And you leave it alone. You don't visit it again or anything. It's just out there. But you know why? Because as soon as you go into the ego mind, doubt, worry, stress, fear, and it just negates it. No matter what it is, it'll negate it. But this way, you've left the ego mind alone. You're in the now, which is the only thing that ever exists for us, is the now. And then you share your desire with the universe. One thing, not 20. One thing. And remember, you're focused on your breath, rising and falling. And you just let it go. In order to receive, we must choose to surrender. And that's a toughie for a lot of people. A lot of us say, I'm not going to surrender that. See, because we've been programmed to believe that if we surrender something, we're giving it up. We're quitting, We're losing. That's ego mind. Heart-mindedness is that I surrender every day. I surrender all day long. I remind myself constantly, I am surrendering all the time. And this is through the heart mind. surrender to the heart mind, what does that mean? It means that you're not attached to anything, genuinely. You're not fixated on something. You're not wanting. You just let it go. Let it go. You know? And sometimes you just say, you know what, universe? You're my best friend. I'm going to give this to you. And universe will embrace it. See, when we let go is when we receive, is when you hold on to things, pressure, tight, white-knuckling life. That's when things rarely do they seem to fall into place for us. We have to literally bang, scrape, pull, yank every single time. Right? None of us are exempt for that. We've all done it. So in the quiet time of this meditation, view the God that you are. View the omnipotently powerful supreme being that you are within. And give yourself a tremendous full body hug. Now, join you in meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow deep breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. There's a great message for you today. Waiting outside nature. It's in the forest where the breeze can touch your face and communicate its gentleness with you. Go outside and listen to the wind. Notice what it feels like when it comes across your skin. Stand outside facing the sun. Wait for it. Pay close attention to the movement of air. Let the subtle breeze remind you that whenever we resist anything, it only weakens our sensitivity to it. Let those inner branches of your mind flow and sway with the gentle wind moving through your lungs right now. Feel the deep eternal love of this life and know that billions of deep eternal loving are heading your way. All greatness comes from being more sensitive to receiving this soft, wonderful movement of life. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night, the following morning. We'll return here at around 5:30 p.m. Eastern for our special currency call. And Sunday, October 6, 2024, we'll after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.